ready to play, and the floodgates have been lifted. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's rock. We're in Concrete Man.
Yeah, so I want to bring your attention to the start of Concrete Man, the music, a little Easter egg for Woodman. And yeah, so Charlie, why do we start with Concrete? What's going on here?
Bro, you just blew my mind. I did not even think about that, but I heard it whenever you said it. The Woodman Easter egg. Wow. Why do we start in Concrete Man? I don't know. Good question. I have a 42 in this game. Don't ask me questions like that.
Well, I'll help you out. So this stage doesn't get optimized very well with weapon use. That's one thing. And also you get Concrete first, which is one of the main weapons of the game. And you'll see that soon. But first, the very first test of might, these elephants, they take, I believe it's 14 shots for each. Like, these guys are very good mashers, as you can see. So this is one of the big challenges when you start learning this game, these little elephants, and it's very easy to die quite a bit. But they both did fairly well.
For the record, I totally knew that. I was just testing to see if you knew that. So, but yeah, man, like yeah, these guys are off to a great start. Darko on his way up at maybe we got like a 1 second sync issue that we might be able to fix here shortly. But yeah, on our way in this last hallway here, if you hold right, you don't get hit. It's pretty nice. So yeah, little platforming section coming up, and then we're gonna hit the door. 130 for Darko. Zaxdar on the way. Gonna hit it at 134. Not bad, not bad.
No,
better than my time. I hit it at 137, kind of.
So Concrete has a few different attacks, but one thing I want to point out is you'll see how short the iframes of Mega Man bosses are. So they only take 1 damage compared to 2 in these kinds of fights usually, but because the iframes are so short, you can put in a lot of damage per second. But I find it draws out the boss fights a little bit. You get to see a little bit of more of what they do, like you saw a few attacks. So it's actually something I really enjoy about this game. Both players are out of the fight without a death, which is good.
Yeah, Darko, a little scary. If he would have got hit by a charge, he might have got that. He might have took the death, but nevertheless, he wiped out Concrete Man pretty good. And you want to finish in the middle of the stage, that way you kind of cut out Mega Man's walk animation there to the middle. So yeah, good job by both runners in doing that. Darko in the lead just a little bit. Kind of interesting choice here, going Galaxy second. I don't think I've seen this. I as far as the route goes, for me, that I know, Magma second, Galaxy third, or maybe even fourth behind Hornet. But yeah, go ahead, Manix. What you got on that?
So this game actually has a few variations. So you could do, you can swap Galaxy and Magma, and the reason for that is the optimization is the same. The reason why you see more Magma second is because it's a lot more of a difficult stage to achieve in the speedrun. So people will put it second for reset purposes. So I think we're going to see a lot of, for comfort reasons, we're probably going to see Magma second for the most. But there are some players who choose to do Galaxy second. Galaxy has a lot of movement, and you introduce the use of Rush, which is very good in this game. Rush is one of the games that you use Rush the most, both Jet and Coil.
Oh, yeah. I believe this little fire dragon here takes about 5 shots. I think Zaxdar did not get the 1 cycle, unfortunately. But yeah, moving along, at least I definitely did take out the dragon. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Darko climbing the ladders on the way up. Yeah, on the way to Galaxy. This both stages has some pretty trick platforming. I don't think I mentioned the double beam skip at the beginning of Magma here for Zaxdar, but
we'll see.
Not sure if they went for it either.
Here. No, he opted not. So you can actually zip through one of the beams here, but it's extremely difficult. So when there's weird properties with the concrete shot for a second while it is forming, you can actually get inside the hitbox of the concrete shot. And you can create these little mini zips that pushes you out. Once the block becomes physical, essentially you get pushed out of it. So you can do like little mini zips. And because you can't slide in this game, these little optimizations do bring the run a long way at the end of the full game, like these small optimizations.
Yeah, definitely. Little this and that. Zaxdar is gonna definitely be what I'd say determines the outcome of the race for sure. Both runners out of their second stage.
It's a little
Darko-
difficult to gauge who's ahead or back here because the stages are different lengths and, of course, very different. But once they complete each of their next stage, they'll just swap now. So Darko will go to Magma and Zax will go to Galaxy. And once they complete those two stages, they'll meet up again. But we can talk about the Magma Bazooka weapon, which is a tri-shot, and you can also charge it. So it's a little kind of reminds me of the heat shot from Mega Man 2.
Right, yeah, this Mega Man is interesting, right? Because Mega Man 1 through 6, of course, was NES, come out in the 90s. Then you had 7 and 8, I think still in the 90s, maybe late 90s, right? And then 9 and 10 didn't come out for the classic series until the mid to late 2000s. So very interesting that they actually went back as far as like I guess lore or gameplay goes, because they took away his slide. He doesn't have the slide. He doesn't have the charge buster. This game when I guess Capcom and I believe it's NT Creates was making NT Creates being the developer. They're like, oh yeah, well people like Mega Man 2. Let's go back to that. So yeah, no slide here, no charge shot, unless of course you play maybe Proto Man mode or something. But I'm not even sure if that has it. I know it does in 10. Does it have it in 9?
Yeah. That's a good question. We'll take a look at Darko's screen.
Who plays Proto Man?
I think he's going to go for the zip. I have a hunch that he's going to go for it. Oh, me. He missed that one shot, so he might not. Okay. Too bad. So both players didn't go for the zip, which is not exactly... Ooh, that hurts.
Bonks on the magma beam in the pit. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say that probably is gonna put him a little bit behind. There's like half a stage there.
Yeah, and that's the exact reason why people play Magma second a lot in their PB attempts, because that happens a lot, and it's not like as easy as it looks. It's actually a pretty difficult jump. Can we give a shout out to the Galaxy Man song though? How good is that? How good is this soundtrack? All of the tunes are amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Galaxy Man, one of the better songs in the game, maybe the best. I don't. Wily songs are pretty good too. The whole soundtrack, like if you're listening to a Mega Man game, it's got a good soundtrack. That's just like expected. It's just what it is.
Exactly. And Galaxy is one of the bosses with the most heavy set of RNG, so like he can fly up or down, and obviously the players want him to swoop down because you can't hit him when he's at the top. So I believe both players in their fights got some high teleports. Good fight by Darko on Magma. That fight is actually very difficult and precise. It looks easy, but you have to learn precise buster shot timing and movement as well, because you have a very small margin of error for him to jump over you or jump onto you. All right.
Yeah, what Manic said, exactly.
This is my personal favorite song, the Hornet stage on Zach's screen. So you'll introduce some new enemies, like I don't know if they're mine carts. There's like these boxing flower things. Do these things even have names? Like how do you name?
I got you. Hold on. Carry. That's what they're called. Carry.
Nice. So we'll kill a bunch of carries. And I think this stage is really fun. It's not necessarily difficult, but there's a few things that you're going to see. And one of the first things as Zax is getting to it is this flower. So it can spawn in any of these platforms. It takes quite a bit of mashing skills to kill it in one cycle. And this can happen. If you touch the spikes, you are dead. One shot. And you might want to even intentionally take damage. As you've seen on Darko, he decided to bonk in the flower to make sure that didn't happen. So that's going to pay off here. That's really what makes the difference right now. So Darko's going to take it.
Yeah, definitely saw Darko just taking the lead on deaths from Zaxdar. But yeah, I mean, that's the back and forth of it, you know? Definitely happens.
Yeah, this race isn't over. I mean, it is Mega Man. A lot of deaths in Mega Man games are not only time punishing, but also ammo punishing. A lot of these routes are optimized for weapon usage. So the moment that you mess up and you have to start over a section, you're already limited in your ammo. So you have to improvise and alter your strategies. Oh, Zach's getting bubblegummed.
Yeah, little low on the health. Darko, meanwhile, makes it the Hornet Man. Just a couple, I think 3 full charge shots of the Magma Bazooka would do it. But yeah, opts to, you know, just shoot a couple extras anyway.
Yeah, and one thing we haven't talked about yet is when you beat bosses in this game, they release this little chip that comes out, and the stage won't end until you grab the chip. So, very important for the players not to forget to grab that.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, and I believe the chips do different things, right? That chip unlocked Rush Jet.
Right, so some of them are upgrades, some of them are just pretty cool, and Wily also has a game-finishing chip. So Darko's starting Jewel Man stage. This is also another good song. I think I could say that for every stage. Like, this song is pretty amazing too. I think this is one of the hardest stages to learn in the beginning because a lot of jumping and shooting is very precise. Mashing can be a really good skill here, as you've seen Darko. He's able to non-stop doesn't have to stop to kill these cannons, which takes 6 shots, and you don't have a lot of room to kill them. So very good mashing presentation here. And we got the homing hornets used for the first time, so they don't do a lot of damage, but they do aim at the nearest enemy, so they're going to be useful. And they're also useful in the upcoming mini boss.
Oh, I was wrong. Slurpee Ninja corrected me in chat. Rush Jet unlocks after 5 stages. That was number 4. So, my bad. I'm not sure what that chip was.
Shoutouts to Slurpee Ninja, the current world record holder of this game. And let's see how Zax does on Hornet. He had a much better Hornet than Darko, so he's going to get a few seconds on that. So, a small redemption for having died a couple times in the stage.
Just part of the storyline. Gotcha. Okay. Ooh. So it does nothing. Just kidding. Got it. No, yeah, for sure. And I saw a question in chat. Bolts. What do the bolts do? That actually, you collect bolts in stages to go to the store, the shop, the in-game shop, and purchase like E-tanks, M-tanks, lives, whatever you want to purchase out of there. Of course, that does take up time, but you never know. We might see some people going head out. It is a race setting and a tournament setting, so you know, not all the that's interesting. Going to be like some compromises when it comes to speed versus safety. So you definitely want to make it through things.
Yeah, there's a few E-tanks that you can grab in the levels along the way that players could opt for. I'm not sure if any players are going for the shop strat, but it is there. So we saw the Jewel fight a little bit on Darko. I just wanted to point out that that fight is fully manipulable. So when you jump, Jewel also jumps. Therefore, you can completely manipulate the boss into walking and jumping exactly where you want it to maximize damage using the black hole weapon.
So what you're trying to say is when I move, you move, just like that?
Well, he always moves. When I jump, you jump.
Right. Yeah, I knew that. Man, I'm terrible. Sorry.
You know, like in Rush Hour, when I go, you go. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, Splash Woman. So, yeah, I did say woman. So, it is characteristic of the Mega Man games to typically have bosses called something man, but there are some called woman, such as this, like Splash Woman, and there are a few other ones in the lore and also in other spin-off games. But yeah, this stage is also pretty difficult to learn. You'll notice here Darko is going up these little bubbles, so these small ones pop after you're sitting on them for a second.
Oh, he was going for it. He went for...
Yeah, he was trying to give a small skip.
I totally agree, because those spikes on that screen, it's a pretty tight jump. to get that little skip there. You go on the small bubble there. You only have a few frames to jump when after the screen transition and not hit the spikes.
Yeah.
Pretty scary, especially in a live city. I agree with the backup strat.
So one other characteristic here about Rush is he will spawn once he meets up with Mega Man. So when you summon him and you jump, he will meet you halfway. So the players will use that to maximize the height of Rush Jet summon by shooting to summon him and then jumping again to land on him at the same time. Very cool trick and very good to optimize the splash stage specifically.
Yeah, some of the community managers in the chat agreeing with the when I move, you move. You know, Zaxdar just taking care of Jewel Man himself. So moving on to Splash Woman. I'd say just like about full stage behind point, but you know, anything can happen. Darko, on the other hand, making it out.
Yeah. So the one thing about Splash Woman is it's one of the easiest bosses casually with the Hornet because it literally aims on the boss. But it is one of the hardest bosses to optimize in this game from a speedrun perspective. I think only a handful of players can still do it very, very well at this point. So you've got to take damage at very specific spots and precisely shoot some Hornets, either left or right. Sometimes, like, it seems counterintuitive to shoot it away from the boss, but that's actually what you have to do.
Yeah, now Darko is entering Plugman stage here. What can you tell me about the cycles for these Yoku blocks? Because yeah, I tend to get bodied sometimes in practice trying to make these cycles. So they can be kind of rough, right?
Right, so this stage works on global cycles. So these Yoku blocks, they start spawning the moment that you start the stage. So Darko is maximizing his movement and having 0 mistakes to ensure that he can hit the first cycle of blocks so he doesn't have to stop. So any minor mistake will get rid of that opportunity. So this stage is very calculated. It looks like straightforward when you look at it, and in a sense it is, but everything is very, very meticulous about this stage, and probably the stage that takes the most of the 8 robots, the most attempts to get it right. But once you start getting the hang of it, it becomes like second nature. And also, Rush Jet Animal is extremely important and calculated. So if you make a mistake or die or something, then you have to take a completely different. Let's see if he goes for the jump. No. So he mashed it. So Darko's a really good masher, but the cool thing about the big jumper there is if he gives you a low jump, you can actually jump over him.
Yeah, not to
just kind of one of those swag strats.
Right on. Yeah, I can dig it. But not to forget about Zax. Zax making it out of Splash Woman. Oh, Darko switching to Magma back up. He actually, the Jewel satellite actually must have tanked off of one of the plug balls. I think that's what happens whenever you don't exactly. You have just enough ammo to hit him enough times without, like, if you get your Jewel satellite eat up by iframes, then yeah, you're gonna have to switch weapons, but which is what happened to Darko. Sorry, I can't talk today.
So both players are about still a stage apart, like you were saying, and you'll see on Zax there, he missed a small strat, so he's gonna have to slow down and possibly wait for some blocks here. Meanwhile, Darko's starting Tornado, another stage that has a very precise start, so you have to use a very specific set of Rush Jet and Rush Coil to get to jump on these, I'll call them mechanical batteries, magnet batteries. You can just stick on them. Looks like he made it. Oh, he's gonna go for the safe strat, gonna go for the bottom route. Uh-oh.
He missed his Rush Jet.
Did I say it was safe? Sorry, Darko.
I blame Mannix totally for that. It's all your fault. What'd you do to it? No, also, yeah, okay, here comes my turn. So, okay. So I saw Zax, whenever they menued, had 0 lives. Skip the 1-up at the first half of the stage in plug here. So, kind of scary what they're doing. Not sure if they're going to be able to.
So one thing I want to point out is a race setting versus PV setting changes the mentality completely. Like these players are used for the most part to sort of reset the game when they make a mistake and they don't feel like they can PB anymore. So like a lot of these situations, they are planning on the spot in their head. And I want to shout out Slipper Ninja for this, because Slipper Ninja is one of the guys that actually plays this game and very, very, very rarely resets the game. So he's been through all of the pains that these guys are going through, like these unfortunate deaths, and I think that's gonna help him when he's gonna face the same situation when he's playing, to know what to do and how to adapt. And I think that's a very big skill when it comes to tournament or races. So we see some rain here on the stage. So basically, when the rain is shooting to the right, it carries your momentum, so you can have long jumps. I don't want it.
Bro, that's so scary.
You got to go with the swag sparks.
Why did he do that? That scared me. But yeah, no, he made it. He's good. He's in Tornado. We'll see if we got Tornado Bro or not. Oh no, maybe, kind of. No, not really. All right, yeah, I wouldn't call that Tornado. Well, maybe. I don't know. What do you say?
So Tornado can either spawn low, medium, or high in the stage, and you obviously, because of the spark weakness being a ground weapon, you want it to be low. But it does travel around, so if he goes really high, you can still shoot them around. It'll go around and hit him. So, but ideally, you want him to stay low, so you can constantly hit him.
Now, I think that's the end of the 8 robos for Darko. Yeah, that's it. So we're going off to Wily Castle. Totally not ripped from Mega Man 2. No.
Gotta make sure everybody got
seen
eyebrow emotes. Can I ask that? Does anybody have eyebrow emotes? I don't even know if that exists, but if somebody has them, please show it to us. People have big eyes and big rooster emotes. I suppose they have eyebrows.
Now this music is really good. There are some cool strats. So we'll see if Darko goes for Tornado strats or Jet strats. He is going for Jet strats. I think Jet strats are faster, but you burn up Jet. So I mean, which you need Jet and Wily too. But I think there's a room for us.
Yeah. So the game intends you to use Tornado to make these little platforms go up, but because everything is possible with Jet, and you need Jet for further parts of the screen, it'll save some menuing to stay on Jet. And we're coming up to the second dragon as Zax gets his shot at Tornado. We'll see if he does the Jet strat. He does, so you can basically follow the dragon on the Jet. That is not easy to do. There's only a handful.
I have not seen that. That was sick.
It requires intense amount of mashing, and Darko definitely has mashing. So yeah, normally you can switch to concrete and kind of do the same thing they did when they faced him in magma. But yeah, that saves a little bit of time because you do need Jet for the following screen. So it saves a menuing basically. So all these little optimizations matter in a game where walking prevents you from normally having like dashing optimization or sliding, for example. So these little things do make up for time.
Yeah, see, and speaking of time, Zaxdar making it out of their Whiteley Swap Masters 8 Robo stages. Looks like 2350 XX-ish. Made a stop out of shop, which is, you know, not bad. Loose safety strats with the E-Tank grab. If I had to guess, that E-Tank's probably for Wily too. Coming up, that's a pretty rough stage sometimes. Darko, on the other hand, I think made it out around a 21XX, maybe mid 21-ish. So Zach's about maybe 2.5 minutes behind, or maybe
yeah. So as we were saying earlier, they were like 4 or 5 minutes apart from PB, but we're not seeing that in this race because anything can happen in a race. So there's still a chance for things to separate or to even get even closer.
Yeah, no telling. Yeah, and Zach's going for some rush strats themselves.
So I didn't get a chance to talk about the spike pusher boss that you've seen. So it requires steady mashing. Most people will think, oh, you have to mash as fast as possible, but you actually have to have a rhythm just enough to push it back. Because if you mash too fast, then the spike will come back to you. So you have to have the perfect amount of mashing. So something that a lot of players tend to forget when they get to that fight. They mash, but really they have to find the rhythm.
Achievement unlocked. Nice one job. Thanks on the dragon.
Yeah, so you saw both strats here, so you're privileged to have seen the concrete strat and the jet dragon.
Oh, yo, it's concrete strats on.
Yeah, so you really see the power of
too,
concrete in this stage. It is the most useful weapon of this game. I would say, like, there are other really useful weapons, but this is the weapon that has like the most premium to it. Like, you're limited in ammo as well. You have to be really careful. So Darko missed a few shots here on the flower, so he might pick up a refill for all I know. There's some health. Yeah, there. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't even go for the refill. He will recharge later, so that's okay. Let's see how Zax does on the spike pushers in the meantime. So it is a long, drawn-out fight. It is probably, like, excluding maybe the Wily fight that has 3 phases, it is pretty drawn-out fight, because you can only do... It doesn't really have a weakness, right? So every time the spike hits it, it takes 2 damage, and that's all you can do. But he's doing pretty good, avoiding damage as well. So damage here can allow the spikes to come out again and force you to mash extra. Doing a really good job of avoiding damage here. Here we go, one more. There we go, good job.
Yep, a couple cool strats here and there to make the climb on Wily 2 from Darko. Darko making the way up. Nice mashes.
Yeah, so Darko has the privilege of having a very strong mash. So sometimes players will take a damage boost from a small damaging source or something like that. Darko will just walk right into it, mashing. So a skill that he can use to his advantage in certain parts of it.
Yeah, I don't think we're like we're not showing the intensity of the situation. You see how much health he has? Not very good.
Did anybody say that the last boss hits like 5 or 6 damage? And look how much health he has. So yeah, this is pretty scary for Darko. I wouldn't be surprised if he uses a new tank in the final phase, but if he gets this, I will gift somebody a sub to Darko's channel. I'll do an anonymous gift sub later.
Oh! No! You did it! You did it! It was your fault. Not mine.
I'm gonna have to apologize to Darko. I think I killed him twice already.
Oh no, Zaxdar too. Well, Zax had the opportunity to catch up a bit on that. Well, hey, it's cool. It's cool. We're all evened up, back on a level playing field. I'm not sure what's going on with Zax right now. Zax is just chilling at the beginning of Wily 2. Let me check SRL, make sure everything.
Yeah, I believe he's saying that he's considering to forfeit. He hasn't officially forfeited yet, so we'll see if he changes his mind. But meanwhile, so the trident ammo was getting low on Darko. There, we talked about it earlier that when you overuse your weapons and you die or something happens, you have to adjust your strategy. So he's gonna go with Buster here to save some ammo and switch back to Trident for the final phase.
Yeah, see, I mean,
no,
you gotta
full Buster. This guy has got me tonight. Like, everything I say, he's not doing it. He probably listens to the commentary stream. He's like, yo, you're gonna be wrong again.
Yeah, prove us little commentary taters wrong. Commentators like potatoes. Okay, anyway. Zax decides to move along, which is good. I kind of, they were considering forfeiting. I was like, hey, keep going. You're doing good. Maybe that's what they need, a little push here. But it helps. It helps, right? Because like you take a couple deaths and you get kind of rattled a bit. In my opinion, you're in a tournament. Anything can happen. Don't let that rattling get you. If you see your opponent ... because you don't know where your opponent is, right? If you see your opponent ... then in that case, then yeah, maybe. But until they ... yo, keep your head in the game. Like you could have just made it. I mean, you were losing time. You lost time doing it. But that's fine. That's fine. All your decision if you want to go or not. But I highly suggest continuing no matter what.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot of these players also put a lot of time into this day, so like you have to come and perform on the day that it matters, and sometimes it doesn't go your way, but you have to just muster it up, keep going. This particular screen with the two Joes, I find is personally is one of the hardest screens to optimize in the game. Very hard to do without stopping. And do you like to dance, Charlie?
Do I like to dance? Oh, that's not. No, I don't dance. All I do is this.
Darko's dancing. Do you guys like to dance? Darko likes to dance. So this particular screen that we didn't really talk about it yet. So it's like a gravity screen. So you can only move left or right by shooting.
Yeah.
So that's why he's able to dance. He can push left and right on his controller. It doesn't matter.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Man, 0 lives. Things looking scary for Darko here, especially in this last section of Wily 3. I'm sure he's done it enough. I'm not taking the blame. But, we'll see what happens.
Opting for the safer strat, which is the tornado, which allows you to lift every enemy out in one shot. It also lightens up Mega Man, so you have to be careful with how you jump. But can you tell us what happens here, Charlie?
Yeah, there's like the twin devil here or something, kind of like a Jello devil, but not really. Yeah, no, I don't know. So there is a one cycle. I'll tell you with gravity weapon here. You're gonna put the gravity here, and you got a pause buffer in order to be able to throw more B-bomb. Oh, it does not get the one cycle. That's okay.
I believe. Somebody else will prove me wrong, but I believe it's 21 seconds lost. A cycle lasts about 21 seconds before you can start damaging it again. Therefore, you gotta watch 2 of these things.
Would you say that's one of the harder strats in the game for as far as a quick strat? I probably would, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. You have to be really quick on the pauses and casting, and also moving, because you can think, oh, I paused in time, but I forgot to move, so the thing is going to fly with me.
Yeah, right on. Yeah.
21 seconds. See, Jack said I was right about one thing today. My day is saved. So I'm going to spend a bit of time talking at the start here. Darko's going to first refill weapons, because it is refights and you need your ammo for everything. But the first boss you fight in Galaxy, and the reason you fight Galaxy first is there's I'll call it the BT manip, I can't remember what it's called, but ETFM, which is a strong runner of this game, figured out that the frame that you enter the capsule to fight Galaxy is very dependent on what you get as a pattern, whether he flies up in the air or swoops down, which is what the players want. So he figured out how to consistently move from the start of the stage to the end, and when to enter the portal to make it so that he always swoops down every time. So players have kind of developed their own way of doing this stage. In this case, Darko didn't get the frame, so therefore he's got to see him fly up. But he could have also gotten the swoops as well. He got one swoop there at the end, so that's good. He didn't teleport twice.
Yep, and looks like we're going clockwise. Can I talk, please? Okay, thank you. Yeah, following the clock around, starting at, I guess, 11 o'clock-ish, moving around the clock. Kind of, that's kind of your weapon device, in my opinion.
Yeah, and also you need Trident, or preferably you need Trident for the Wily fight, and Concrete ends up being last, so you switch to Trident so you save a menu. To stay on Trident.
Okay, so Zax is in the Wily 3.
Also going with the Tornado.
Yeah, so opposed to what? Like, for some of us that don't know, tell us.
So the players can also opt to use Trident, but they have to refill before, because they use Trident in Wily 2. So they'll have to do their refill earlier in the stage. But they can offer Trident, which shoots through the Sniper Joe's shields and the Mets covering down. So it's one of the only weapons out there. There's 2 in this game that actually get rid of Mets while they're covered. Like, should call Capcom and be like, I think you had a glitch in your system. Like, the Met is not supposed to die. It's supposed to tank.
Yeah, we'll see if Zach gets a good fight here. Oh,
it looks
one
good.
more.
It looks really,
yeah,
one cycle.
Save some time there. I
One
like
cycle.
it. Oh, easy in chat. Easy. Can we get some easies? Darko in the refights against Splash Woman, almost done. This might come down to a good or bad Wily, depending. We'll see. Darko almost to the machine. He's got one more fight with Concrete here.
So, Enzo Jack actually thought this earlier. The way Concrete moves, you can shoot one shot, and sometimes it'll hit him twice if he travels with it. So Wily 1 phase is the most annoying phase ever if you don't know this trick. So you gotta bust these little eggs into his mouth. But there's a setup where you can keep your like a moderate distance from Wily and shoot the egg into his mouth every time.
Trident. Okay, I like it.
Not a bad strat. I mean, instead of running out of Concrete, because I think he's short, or he might just have exact ammo, he's just going with what he has and doing a bit of damage. That's actually a really, really strong choice. In this case,
like
he could have maybe saved it, but interesting. So he could have used the Concrete to hit him higher. Darko was showing us some cool stuff. So this is Casino. This is why the tournament is called Go for Broke. Like, he can just spawn up and up and up forever. You're getting a pretty good example here of how PBs go to die. A lot of players have watched their personal best just wash away over and over after the perfect run. So
Yeah,
that's swag there. If you guys seen that, the black hole grabbing the weapon that was about to hit him, so that he can get out of there unscathed, that's some pretty good stuff. You guys should clip that.
I might totally watch that. Like, I might totally borrow that.
Like,
that's one of the reasons.
Worst.
That's kind of one of the reasons I wanted to like commentate, was so I could like kind of understand a couple of different strats and what to do in certain situations, like live events and whatnot. Oh look, and finished off with Hornet Chaser. GG's to Darko. Yeah, 38:05 on his timer. That's gonna be a 38:06 via SRL Racebot. Yeah, get your GG's in chat.
GG. So, like we said, like in this game, anything can happen. Like, you saw how far Zax was. He stopped playing for a while, and like it still feels like he was in it at the end of it. So, like, never give up. And
in the refights right now, he's got to go, and then Wily Machine. Yeah, we'll stay on board here with Zax and see how these refights go. While Darko's gonna catch up and chill out a bit before race 2.
Yeah, just a friendly reminder that this is a best of 3, and like Zax isn't out of it, gonna finish strong and get ready for game 2. You get a good look here at how you can manipulate Jewel to jump right over you.
I see both of them are gonna beat me because, like I said, I can't sub 40 the game yet, so I'm working on it. I'm trying. Kind of. A little bit. Yeah. Not really. I don't know.
It's not an easy game. You'll get it.
Splash Woman down. We've got one more. Concrete. The man of the concrete. This is like... Is this like the second or third boss in the series with like construction? I don't know.
There's a lot of them, yeah, for sure. Is Commando a construction guy? Can we count him?
Yeah, I'd count him. He's one game after. But I'd definitely count him. And then in 11, you got that other guy. That one. Yeah, that one. You got it.
All right, let's see. So you can see this is a good example of how each player approaches the Wily Phase 1 fight, and I want to stress the fact that how much time these players have to spend on this fight in time trials or save states or whatever they use. This Wily 1 fight has a lot of practice put into it. Getting a high pattern here, so he's got to wait till he comes down to hit him. 2 high patterns. I believe that is the slowest possible first 2 cycles to get the flying patterns. When he's lower, you can chase him and hit him. Time for some more casino. Are you guys ready to gamble?
Oh man, hit the slots. Let's go. Where are we going? Okay, going high. Alright, second one. Okay, here we go. Yo, in before I died at the casino in my race only.
All I gotta say about Wiley is if he was a dealer in blackjack, he would have busted a long time ago for going that.
Very nice fight from Zach. I'd say one of the quicker ones.
GG to Zaxdar. Yeah, that was a really good fight. So a lot better than Darko's in this particular situation.
Yeah,
41
for sure.
41-16
on
both
the
warm-ups are done. GG to both.
I'm not sure if we have a. I don't think we have an admin. Let me make a room right quick. You guys, quickly go get some snacks. Your trash food, as old Prodigy from the Mega Man.
The players have opted to take a small break before the game too, so bathroom breaks right now. Go.
Go, 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 go. Getting into game 2 very shortly. I'm gonna set up a room for these players here. Yeah.
So guys, tell me, what did you like about the first race? If for any of you who have seen the game for the first time, like, tell us what you think about the game. Slurpee pointing out the 420 viewers.
Oh, yuck.
Phone is at 1% for Will. Well. Do you have somebody else's phone? Can you like put them back to back and steal his power? Then he's at 1% and you're fine. What's that called? That little magnet thing? Oh, sorry. Is it Wilt? I can't see. See, I'm commentating in the blind. It's not.
Hey, you're doing better than me.
It's like a bunch of like L's and I's and W's and T's and numbers. It's like we. I don't even know how to say it. Like, I apologize. It's like we. Is it like Wario? I win. Something like that.
It's like Kiwi with no K.
It's like Kiwi.
Iwi.
Nice. So it's like Eevee with a W.
Wee. Yo, what's that from? Is that Monty Python? Oh
The
man,
Wii?
I'm old.
That's Dr. Wily's favorite console, the Wii U.
Kung Pao. Oh yeah. So, gotcha. Oh, check out the dog. You see the doggo? Here we go. Woof woof. Get your Frankers in chat. If you're still around, you know. Done getting your trash foods and whatnot.
So
I'm gonna step
on Darko's screen, is that his real puppy? Does anybody know what Darko's
that looks
puppy really looks like?
100% like a real dog. Be right back.
Carbonated soda works. Zach's staying fresh, practicing. So for those of you who are just joining us, we just had game 1 of the best of 3 between Zaxdar and Darko, which are part of Group B, which also include Charlie Boar and Ahmad, I believe. Yes. And so they will play a best of 3 and have either a win, a loss record. And at the end of the round robin, they're each going to play each other. And the top 2 of each group will move on to an elimination. So I see Ahmad was here in chat, Charlie Boy, like they're probably interested in seeing what happens in their group. What does the Fox say? I don't know. Isn't Fox owned by Disney now? Therefore, it's probably some kind of song. Maybe we're not allowed to say it because Disney owns it. Imagine having a dog that barked every 5 seconds. Well, you don't have to imagine that much, Mello. That's kind of what the dog does. What does the dog say? Bark, bark, bark. This might be the longest a dog has been this excited to see me, though. Usually dogs are like, don't want to hang out with me. But this dog's like, hell yo.
Alright. Now we see Zax here getting a little practice and
yeah, it was so the cool thing about Mega Man 9 that we didn't talk about is there is a practice mode or like a time trial, so you can select each stage individually and play them. I believe practice gives you all the weapons, so I would recommend to like make save states as well. There's not save states, sorry, but use save files in the game. I believe they give you 8 files, so you get like practice with the correct menuing by fighting them in the same order that you speedrun the game. And they also, the Legacy Collection has like a quick save option in the menu, so you can use it over and over wherever you need it. Sort of practice with one file. I do that sometimes.
let's see here. Let's see if we can move things along pretty soon. I think Darko's actually taking a small break. I'm not sure how long we have the channel, so we probably need to go ahead and start the second match. Well, third match, of course, if we need it. We're gonna have to allot for time for that. So yeah, we should hopefully be getting started pretty soon with game 2 of the Mega Man 9 Go for Broke event tournament, hosted by Handsome Jackass and SpeedGaming. I, of course, am Charlie Boy, if you're just now joining us. Manix here, 86, joining me. How
That's
you doing?
me.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if you don't know who I am, you should get to know me, because let me tell you why. I actually host a tournament with SpeedGaming myself. That would be the Mega Man 2 randomizer. It's actually, believe it or not, this Mega Man 9's 7th tournament as far as Mega Man goes. Participating, play as a player and a commentator. I started with the Sinister Ones. I think it was 2018 Mega Man 2 Any% tournament, Rockman 2 tournament. I was in that. That was my first tournament for as far as SpeedGaming competitively goes. Yeah, I kind of crashed and burned. We won't talk about it. Then I met Handsome Jack in the Mega Man 2 Game Boy. And, I just didn't have enough Mega Man 2 in me. Yo, we need to throw. I talked to Feasel and some of the SpeedGaming people. Hey, we need to throw a Mega Man 2 randomizer. So yeah, I got into that. I threw that. It was part of the Mega Man 11 tournament. I've done two Mega Man 2 rando tournaments this year. Or sorry, the past 2 years. Once in 18 and once in maybe might do it for 20 as well. And then yeah,
Charlie boy, apparently you are the real plug man.
Am I? That's what it is? I was plugging? Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. I was trying to fill dead air, guys. Come on. Let me tell you what.
How does air die? Is air a living thing?
Well, I'll tell you, if you go into Mega Man 2 and you choose Airman stage, you have item 1 to do some fast air. And you know, if you mess up and you die, dead air, that turn kills you.
8 out of 10. Come on, I'll give you 8 out of 10 for that one. Because I had nothing. I thought you were gonna give me the deep philosophical answer, and you didn't. You gave me the Mega Man answer, so I tipped the hat that I'm not wearing to you.
Does that mean I'm actually a Mega Man player now? Can I say that? Moving on from fighting games, I'm in this. Let's see. We're ready to go. It looks like both of our readies are ready.
Should I go in a newer SR room? Is that what I have?
No. I need to not quit. Alright, Good luck, have fun. Not quit. Let's go. Right.
Oh, I need to go in a new room. I think everybody was like 20 minutes ahead of me as far as SR was concerned. There we go. So what do you guys want to see in game 2? Do we want to see Darko 2-0 or do we want to see a 1-1 in a game 3?
Oh, 1-1 game 3, always. No matter who it is.
Also, fun fact, as you've seen the game, the winners' games are identified by little penguins. And I was one of the first ones that asked the community, why a penguin? And they just said, because. And then I thought, well, maybe this guy doesn't know. So I'll ask the next guy. And the other guy just said, because. And like they just put penguin in chat. So I guess the answer is because, and there's nothing else. That is